This is Studio Talk, and I'm Barry Johns. Universal Audio, we need to have a discussion about Windows. But before we do that, I want to give a little context before I get going. I'm going to tell you that today this discussion is going to be about Windows issues associated for many years, greater than a decade, with Universal Audio. And that's what we're going to talk about. But before I do that, even still, I want to talk to the people out there who are going to come in and chime in right away and say, mine's been working on Windows since the day I got it. It's flawless. And if it doesn't work for somebody else, it's their problem. It's not a Universal Audio related issue. And so therefore, they're going to come in with this holier than thou, arrogant approach. What I'm going to tell you, for you people out there that look at things that way, I'm going to flat out tell you, you're making that comment out of complete ignorance and arrogance. Find some humility in your life, and I think we can go a long way. Now, I have been critical of Universal Audio in the past, but I've also been very positive. I love the company. I think it's a great company. They have one of the most amazing stories in audio that we've seen, okay? They're up there with the likes of the history of Rupert Neve and people like that. People who really transformed audio. Bill Putnam made a massive difference in our ability to be able to record music and do it in a way that sounds fantastic. Yes, I've been critical of Universal Audio in the past. I have, all right? But I need you to understand, I'm a huge fan of the company. I really am. I use their plugins every single day on every single mix. I think their plugins are outstanding. Are there some competitors up there who are catching up and who have caught up? Yes. But they're still my first go-to in most situations where I'm looking for that particular flavor in a plugin if I'm not using analog. That said, no company is perfect. No company does everything right. And what we've got out there is we've got this obsession by some Universal Audio users as if the company can do no wrong, if the company can have no faults, that they think that it's some kind of cultish kind of mentality. You know, that existed with Pro Tools back in the day. How'd that work out for Pro Tools, everybody? All right? And so that's just not healthy. Be open-minded and be objective. Because when I do offer up some advice or criticism, depending on how you want to look at it, about a company, and I'm pretty much well known for doing that on this particular channel, I'm doing it to hopefully spark a light in that company to make them want to make the changes and actually do something about it, which is what this video is today. Now, that said, Universal Audio has had challenges with Windows drivers for over a decade now. I've been active in many online communities. I've been an active member of Gearsluts, I guess now known as Gearspace, for over 20 years. For over 20 years, back when that was actually nothing but pro people out there sharing their knowledge and sharing their experience before everyone else found out it was there. And I think it's a great thing that everyone else found out it was there. But from the very beginning of Universal Audio putting out their interfaces in a Windows environment, they've had challenges. It has been inconsistent, to say the least, and through today. I spent the last couple of days scouring all kinds of various online forums, including Universal's own forum, Gearspace, as well as Reddit, and many others, the Gear page out there. And I'm finding this issue still exists. There's only two companies that I know of that have a history for making great products that for whatever reason can't seem to deliver consistent drivers for Windows. And that is Universal Audio and Antelope Audio. It's either hit or miss, you know, and that's hard to understand because for those of you like myself who are Mac users, I'm here to tell you this is not a Mac versus PC, not even remotely close. Both operating systems are perfectly capable of doing outstanding work today. You know, there was a time in the past that wasn't the case, but hasn't been that way for a very long time. Now, that said, there are challenges on a Windows computer that are not there on a Mac. And it's only because Apple has a closed ecosystem. Every single component in their computers is decided upon to work in tandem with their operating system. So you simply just don't have these issues. That's where the stereotype comes up, or everybody knows you just plug it in and it works on a Mac. And that's just true. But that doesn't make Mac better. Okay, it makes it different, but it doesn't make it better. If you have a properly spec'd out computer, then you stand a much greater chance of being able to go plug and go, baby. And so ultimately, the biggest mistake a lot of people make, and some of this could be tied to that, is that you just can't pick up or expect to be able to pick up any off-the-shelf computer manufacturer out there and buy a computer and think it's going to work well within a digital audio workstation environment. That's just not the case. And that's why most people who take this seriously build their own computer, just in the way gamers do. Gamers build their own computer to get the right components, to get the right frame rate, all these things to put together to get to optimize the perfect gaming system. But the same thing applies to a digital audio workstation. Yes, there are manufacturers out there, Dell and others, that make great computers that work flawlessly, but they're not going to be their lesser expensive ones. You're going to have to spend some money to get that. And so ultimately, is some of that? Yes. But here's the thing. Universal Audio, why has a company like RME been able to write consistent, the most stable drivers on the planet for Windows for, 15, 20 years or greater? I mean, you just don't ever hear of this. And I'll be honest with you, I don't hear of this with really consistently with other audio interface manufacturers. So why is it you struggle? Is it the fact that your DSP type architecture puts a challenge that the others don't have? That may be a reasonable point. But that said, you don't seem to be dedicating the resources to getting things worked out. You know, the latest trend going on out there right now is that if you're trying to do Thunderbolt with a Universal Audio interface, forget about it. You got to go USB. Well, why limit those choices? Now, I understand Thunderbolt is more widely utilized on Macs than it is Windows, but I don't want to get into the whole Thunderbolt versus USB. I've got a video out there on there. They're both perfectly wonderful alternatives or options, I should say, for audio. We simply don't need the kind of bandwidth that some of you people think we do. We just don't. You can actually do up to 64 channels of streaming audio on USB 2, baby, numero dos. So this mindset that you've got to have all that is just not accurate. It's just not accurate at all. But with the latest incarnation of USB, or Thunderbolt 4 and USB, I think 3.2, whatever it is, don't quote me on that, but they're interchangeable. So Universal Audio, why are you struggling with these challenges? And better yet, and here's the question, and this is what all of this is leading to, is this next point. Why are you selling your interfaces when you know they're inconsistent at best? Why are you even making a Windows option? Or if you're choosing to make a Windows option, why aren't you saying only use computers with these exact components? Otherwise, don't count on our interface to work. So what this is a call to action for Universal Audio. I'm inviting you for an opportunity to come on this channel. We can do a Zoom meeting together. If you've got one of your people that happen to be visiting Central Florida anytime soon, or anywhere in the state of Florida, you let me know. I'll drive to you. Let's sit down and have an open, honest discussion. We can keep the topic strictly to just this particular subject, or we can open it up to others. That is your choice completely. I'm not trying to do a gotcha moment. I'm really not. But I am going to be approaching it on behalf of an advocacy for your Windows users out there, because they deserve to be able to experience what your interfaces offer. And for those people who need DSP, you offer tremendous options for them if they actually need that. And you offer things that have made you such a compelling choice for so many years. So I think you owe some more attention, and I think a response, because that's another criticism, and I happen to notice this myself, is you guys seem to be MIA on these threads, even on your own forum, and really don't get in and answer any real questions. You don't get to the nuts and bolts. I notice when you've got a new product coming out on Gearspace, or whatever they call that thing today. I still call it Gearsluts. But when there's a new product out there, you're all over that. You're all over that, but you know as well as I do, the minute somebody criticizes anything you do, Jules and his boys over there, they're going to delete that comment and kick you out of that particular thread. They're not going to put up with any criticism of any audio manufacturer over there, because over at Gearspace today, that place does nothing but work for advertisers, works for gear manufacturers, and then allows us to be able to talk about it as long as we stay in line. Now, I can say that because I've been on that site for 20 years, 25 years almost, all right? So I've been there from the very beginning of that whole thing practically, and it only turned into that in the last 10 years, okay? But, Jules, I got no problem with you. You want to make money? It's your right to do that. You have every right to do that. but I think you also need to come clean with the users of your forum as well. But anyway, that's a different discussion for another day. Had to get my little rant in there about the dictatorship going on with their gear sluts. So anyway, Universal Audio, I hope you take me up on this. We're giving you the opportunity, but if you don't, it's going to speak volumes. That's the thing with social media. It's powerful. It's a powerful tool. And I'm not trying to do anything to hurt you. What I'm trying to do is help your customers, help your users. That's what I'm trying to do. And if we can get this worked out, if you can get this worked out, if I can give you the motivation, and then once you've got that motivation to actually do something and a call to arms and get this thing done, don't you want happy customers? You deserve happy customers. You got a long storied history, and I want to see you be successful. But you're going to have to do the right thing. Really is as simple as that. So do me a favor, if you like the things I talk about here, subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate it. Helps me grow. Otherwise, leave some comments down below. You trolls, you've already turned this off. So the trolls didn't get past the first 15 seconds of it. The minute I addressed the trolls, they went screaming and yelling. They're down in the comment section trying to destroy me. Well, good luck. I'm uncancelable because I don't care. This channel's never been bought and sold and never has and never will be. I can say whatever I want, whenever I want. And that's exactly how things work here at Studio Talk. So until next time, I hope all of you have a great day. Bye-bye.